You have worked extremely hard to build everything that you have right now. Months, years of your life have been invested into this, and it can be completely destroyed in less than 2 months. And I've seen multiple people do it. Actually, let me tell you a story. I was working with a multiple 7-figure owner, was making 400k per month, 500k per month. We'll call him John, and he wanted to transfer all of his income from that business to a new coaching business, and he asked us for our help. The problem is that he had the potential, he had the audience, and obviously he had the money, but he had one huge flaw, one huge problem that completely destroyed his brand, at least for a period, and completely ruined the whole plan. And that thing is impatience. Now in this video, I'm going to break down the multiple ways I've seen impatience destroy businesses and how you can avoid that. Now, before we get to the first point, let's define impatience. If we don't know what it is, we can't avoid it. And to do this, I'm gonna steal Alessandra's words. He defines patience as figuring out what to do in the meantime, which means that if you're waiting for someone, just do something to distract yourself, basically. You can do it in your mind, and from the external point of view, you will look like you're a patient person, you're just sitting there like this. Impatience is not knowing what to do in the meantime, therefore, which means that while maybe you're building your product, or while you are waiting for something in your business, you don't have anything to do. You don't have this sort of distraction that makes you, it just makes you avoid the pressure of like looking at the loading screen of your product becoming better or whatever, and you're only at the 10% and you're like, I can't wait, I need to do it now, it's taking too long. You think all of that stuff because you don't know what to do in the meantime. So knowing this, we can then see the symptom of impatience, what impatience leads to. And the first symptom, the first problem, is over pitching. What happens is your product is maybe unfinished, or you just finished the first version of your product and now you want to sell it, you want the world to see it. You do a launch and it doesn't go as well as you planned because it's the first time you're doing a launch, or it's the first time you're doing a launch with this product. So obviously it can't be perfect. You wanted 500 people, let's say, to buy your product or to join your course or whatever, and you got only 100. And now you are, first of all, disappointed, and second of all, you are impatient because now you want the results the goal that you had, you wanted to achieve it now. Because otherwise, some people might feel like they are like they failed and they are like giving up on their dreams, on their goals and stuff like that. But that's not how that works, because you only give up once you give up on the goal. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore because I can't do it. That's when you give up. If you just postpone the goal and you're gonna do it in 2 months, you're not giving up on it, you're just changing the method. But instead, what most people do in this case is they pitch another time, do another launch, another launch, another launch, and in 1 month, they launch their product, or they did 4 or 5 pitches in a row, and their audience, now first of all, doesn't want to join the product anymore because you've been selling it too much. They're just annoyed, and you are slowly killing your audience, your brand, and you're still not getting the results you wanted because of something called law of diminishing return, which states that the more time you do something, the less returns, the less rewards you're gonna get from it. So if you do a launch and you get 100 people, the second launch is not gonna get you 100 people. It might get you 50, and the third is not gonna get you 50. It's gonna get you 20, because all of the people that actually wanted to joined on the first one. The people who maybe didn't see the first one, or just need a little bit more push, like a stronger push, they joined in the second one. And the third category, which is maybe the people who just didn't notice it or whatever, they joined on the third one. But the more you go, the less people you're gonna get. Eventually you're gonna do a launch where you get only 2 or 3 guys. That's not worth it, because out of these 3 people who joined, the other 5 to 10,000 people who saw the stories, who saw the launch, are just gonna be annoyed because you've been pitching the same stuff 4 times in 1 month, and you're ruining your audience. Instead, what you have to do is, as soon as the first launch doesn't go well, and you get only 100 people, you wait for a couple of months And in the meantime, this way patience, you figure out what to do in the meantime, you improve your product so you get more testimonials and it's easier to do the second launch. You learn what they wanted, you ask the people inside, the 100 people who joined, why did you join? What's the thing that made you join? And then you figure out that they joined maybe because of the call, not because of the courses. Or they bought your product because of the fast shipping time, not because of the whatever you were selling, whatever was your main selling point at the start. And then when you do the second launch and you know more and your product is better and you have more testimonial and you know what they want, bam, you might get 200 people in one launch and you're closer to your goal. It might not be 500, but it's better than 100. And now you might wait another month. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 months every single time. But you might wait another month, you do the launch again, bam, another 200 people. And before you know, you reach your goal. And you might think, and a lot of people think that the first way is faster, the more you pitch, the more you sell, but that's not how it works, because on the long run, the guy who waits and improves their product and improves their marketing is always gonna win, because you might get you might grow faster. The guy who pitched the 4th time in 1 month is growing faster because you got 150 people in 1 month, instead the first guy got 100 people. But on the long run, on the span of 6 months to a year or more, the guy who waited is gonna have 1,000 people, 500 people inside his community, and the guy who just pitched is gonna have 200 at best, and doesn't have an audience anymore because everyone hates him because he's been pitching his product on every single story or whatever. Now, there is the opposite to this, which is being scared to pitch. A lot of people, when they build their audience, they don't want to disappoint them, they don't want to annoy them or whatever, so they're just scared to pitch. But what destroys your audience is not pitching by itself, is pitching a shitty product or pitching too many times. If you just do one, even if the product is not the best, but if you do a pitch and you're open about it, that's what people don't realize. They think that they have to have the perfect product in order to sell the first couple of copies or the first couple of, access to the course or whatever. But you can admit that your product is not perfect, and you can tell them that they're gonna be the people who join, and that the first people who join are gonna be the ones who improve the product the most, and they're gonna get the most benefit from it. You can tell them, this is the first version, it's not gonna be the best one, but if you join now, you're gonna get a discount. Or if you join now, you're gonna be one of the founder members, and you're gonna get a bonus in the next 2 or 3 months. Or whatever. You can tell them the truth, and then you can balance it with a bonus. You can tell them this is not perfect, but since you trust me, you're gonna pay less, or since you trust me, you're gonna get a bonus in a couple of months once the product is good. And that, being so honest, balances out the damage you do to your audience by pitching. So that's how you sort of pitch ethically. You tell them the truth, and then you actually work on improving the product, because if you do that, and then your product is still shit after 6 months, no matter how honest you are, people are gonna be like, yeah, we get it, but you gotta do something about it. And obviously the opposite side is you are pitching the same product, even if you're honest, if you do it like every week, it's still gonna be annoying. Now, the second point, it's connected to this one, is ignoring your product to sell more. A lot of people just think about numbers, just think about the numbers going up, especially when you just started making money. So let's say you go from 0 to 10k or 5k to 20k or whatever is a big jump. You sort of get addicted to the number going up, and you forget about everything that's important, everything that got you there in the first place, which is the content, the content, the product, like the people who actually joined and caring about them. That's what got you there. So you might be getting to 20k per month or more. This happens so even when you get to 100k per month. Actually, the higher you go, the more this happens. You just get addicted to the number, and then you lose it. When you care too much about something, that's when you put on yourself the highest risk of losing it, because you just focus on that. You care too much, and you just focus on increasing the number, not caring about what the number is, because the number is people. The number of money in your bank account is not just a number, it's people who trusted you. So you gotta stick to that. You gotta stick to, instead of selling more, you improve your product more, you're gonna get more people who love it, which is gonna get more people to refer it, which is gonna get more people to tell that your product is great, which is gonna bring to more people buying it. Ironically, the best way to sell your product is by not selling it, by improving it, by working on it. Obviously, you gotta do a pitch from time to time, you gotta sell it from time to time, but the best way to sell it passively, which means just leave a link in your description, just leave a link in your YouTube. Don't mention it too much. Maybe mention it one time, one time every 4 or 5 videos, and then just and improve your product to the point where people just can't stop themselves from referring it. If you join something that's truly great, you just go around and talk about it. If you have the cure for cancer, and if you buy the cure from cancer and it works, you're obviously gonna tell everyone in the world about it. And that's the same thing. You want to reach to that point. Obviously, that's an exaggerated example, because you don't have the cure for cancer, but you want to get to the point where your product almost feels like that. Now, the third point is short-term decisions. And I'm not just talking about pitching too much or releasing a shitty product, because we talked about it for the whole video, so it doesn't make sense. I'm talking about specifically maybe hiring too much because you want to get faster results. You hire 100 setters just so you can get more appointments. You think you're gonna sell more, and I did this as well. Actually, I'm gonna tell you a story. Is at the start, when I tried to win my first school games on my own, I think I did over 100 interviews, and I hired probably 30% of them, which is a horrible number. You should be way more picky when it comes to hiring someone. And then out of the 20, 25 people I hired, 15 to be honest, 20 of them were complete shit. I just spent time managing them, but they didn't do any work because I didn't qualify them enough. They were just not qualified for the job, and it just didn't work. The 5 people who were actually decent, and they got less attention because I decided to I just needed to split my focus on everyone. Once I fired the other 20 people and I got the last 5 people, at that point I didn't have the money to pay them, because it cost me a lot to get out of all of the other 20 people. Didn't do any work, so I had to work my ass off, because obviously I couldn't just not pay them. I have to pay them, so I worked my ass off, and I spent all of the money I'd made during the school games to pay them. And it was a horrible period, because I was just working to pay the people that were supposed to make money. So this is what I mean by short-term decisions. It's not just about selling too much, it's not about doing a shitty product. It's also about the decision you make inside your business. Don't hire if you don't need to hire, if it's not strictly necessary. Don't make, this is the opposite of making a shitty product, which is make a product that promises too much. Don't make a product that promises them the world if you can't actually do it, if you don't have the resources to do it. That's what a lot of people do, is they promise the world. They're like, yeah, in my course you're gonna become a billionaire in 2 weeks, it's gonna be incredible. Then they join the course and it's empty, or they join they join your coaching and you can't actually do that. You don't have the experience, but you just wanted to sell. Every time you make a decision in your business, you have to think about the long-term effect of that decision. Meaning that if you are over-promising on your product just to sell to 10 more people, you have to think, are those 10 more sales worth me having to work for 2 or 3 months or more just to deliver to them? Are those 20K, let's say they pay you $2,000 each, are those 20K worth 3-4 months of my work? If the answer is yes, then of course do it. But if the answer is no, if you think that you can still sell 5 people with your normal offer and you can sell them every single month, and you don't have to work so hard just to deliver to them, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's just it's a trade-off. You need to balance out which side you want, because everything has a negative side. Don't remember who said this quote, but it was in life we must choose our regrets. So every decision you make has some sort of regrets to it. It's like starting on a business and not going out to party and stuff like that. It's sort of giving you some regrets, because you're like I'm not enjoying my 20s, or I'm not going to the party, I'm not enjoying my life. But the positive side is that now you're making a lot of money, you're financially free, you don't have to worry about anything in your life, and you can have fun for the rest of your life if you wanted. And obviously, the other side is you are happy because you go to parties, you're happy because you're enjoying your 20s, and then the regret is that you're never going to make money, you have to slave away for the rest of your life and stuff like that. So, and that works for business too, for short-term to long-term decisions too. Am I gonna regret getting 10 more clients because I have to work for 4 or 5 months just to deliver to them? Just choose. Like, do you want that regret just for 20k more in the bank account? If the answer is yes, then the trade-off is worth for you. But you have to think. The important part is not the decision you make; is that you think about it. This is a little like a small difference. But if you make a decision, even if it looks wrong to other people, if it's right to you because you generally thought about it and you decided after maybe 1 hour or 2 hours of thinking or multiple days of thinking, even if it looks wrong for others, if it's right for you, that is the right decision. Now, thank you for watching this video. In the description, I'm gonna leave some resources that I think can be useful for you during your business journey. Some of them are referrals, some of them are not. I'm gonna leave which in the description. Thanks for watching this video. Go check the next one and see ya.